She looked me dead in the eye, smirk tugging at her lips, and said the line that would change everything. "Stop acting like we're married. You don't get a say in where I go or who I'm with." Her three friends exploded with laughter, as if she had just delivered the punchline of the year. I stood there quietly, wooden spoon in hand, pasta sauce dripping back into the pot. Everyone expected me to argue, to look humiliated, to beg for her respect. Instead, I smiled. A calm I can't fully explain settled over me. "You're absolutely right," I said softly. "My mistake." More laughter. Jessica patted my cheek like I was a child who didn't understand the rules of the adult world. Then they swept out, high heels clacking across my hardwood floor, leaving me in the kitchen with the smell of garlic bread and the sound of my own thoughts. That night, I repeated her words in my head like a mantra. "We're not married. I don't get a say. Fine." The moment Jessica's car pulled out Friday afternoon for her lake weekend with the girls, I was already in motion. First stop, my 80-year-old neighbor, Mrs. Gable, retired librarian, surveillance enthusiast, and the unofficial CIA of our street. She sees everything. I showed up at her porch with a lemon cake and Jessica's exact words. Mrs. Gable's eyes narrowed to slits. "That shameless little hussy," she hissed, patting my hand. "Don't you worry, dear. I'll play my part." I handed her a simple script for when Jessica inevitably came back and found herself locked out. Next stop, Operation Bachelor Pad Resurrection. For 6 months, my house hadn't looked like mine. Beige pillows everywhere, pointless bowls filled with decorative glass pebbles, a sofa you weren't even allowed to sit on because it wasn't for everyday use. My man cave had been stripped and replaced with something out of a home staging catalog. Not anymore. I started with her stuff, box after box, everyday clothes, dresses for outings I was never invited to, 37 pairs of identical heels, each one like a carbon copy. By Saturday morning, everything was neatly stored in a unit under her name. Then came the fun part. Out went the beige rug, replaced with a glorious stretch of green astroturf designed to look like a football field. Her dainty little coffee table, swapped for a vintage pinball machine that lit up the living room in neon. And the crown jewel, a massive black leather recliner, 16 cup holders, a cooler built into the armrest, and more authority than a throne. But the final move was my favorite. I adopted Gus, a 120-pound Saint Bernard with a bark that could shake the windows and drool that could fill a bucket. The moment he walked in, Gus climbed onto the recliner like he had been born to reign there. My house was mine again. By Sunday night, everything was ready. At 9 p.m., Jessica rolled up the driveway, humming, glowing from her weekend away. She pulled out her key, tried the lock, and froze. The new deadbolt didn't budge. She rattled it, shoved the door, and started banging. That's when Gus let out a low, menacing woof that shook the walls. Her calls came next, 5 in a row. Declined, declined, declined. And then, right on cue, Mrs. Gable's porch light flicked on. "Oh, Jessica, dear," she called sweetly. "Tom had the most wonderful weekend. He told me the news. You two aren't married, and he doesn't get a say in anything you do. So he decided to celebrate. He redecorated the house and even got himself a dog. Said he wanted a companion who was loyal and didn't talk back." Jessica's face went pale. Through the window, I saw her eyes widen as she took in the sight. Gus sprawled across the recliner, the football field rug beneath his paws, the pinball machine glowing in the corner. Her jaw dropped, and then came the strangled noise, a cross between a scream and a sob. That's when her phone buzzed with my text. "You're right. We're not married. I don't get a say. So this is my house, and you don't get a say either. Your things are safe. Storage Way, Unit 42, Code 1234. You have 1 month. Take care." I blocked her number immediately. Outside, she read the message, looked at the window, and let out a furious scream before hurling her phone onto my lawn. Gus barked again, tail wagging like he was enjoying the show. The fallout was predictable. Monday morning, social media was flooded with Jessica's vague, self-pitying posts. "Some men can't handle strong, independent women. Never let anyone dim your light." Cute. I posted my own update, a photo album. First picture, the sad beige living room I'd been living in. Next picture, my reborn bachelor pad, complete with recliner, football rug, pinball machine, and Gus looking majestic. Caption, decided to redecorate based on my new relationship status. Turns out I'm not married and don't get a say, so I'm embracing my freedom. No say, no stay. The post went nuclear. Mutual friends shared it everywhere. Jessica's narrative collapsed overnight. Instead of sympathy, she got memes, jokes, and people DMing me asking for Gus updates. By the end of the week, Jessica had moved back in with her parents, 3 hours away. Her lawyer sent me a letter demanding access to retrieve her wrongfully held property. My lawyer replied with my mortgage documents and one polite question. Will Ms. Jessica be paying 6 months of rent and utilities, or should we prepare an invoice? Funny, we never heard back. And me? I sit every night in my recliner, Gus at my feet, pinball machine buzzing in the background. My house is mine again. Peaceful, loyal company by my side. And I can't help but smile, remembering the moment it all began. Her smug laugh echoing in the kitchen, right before she said, "Stop acting like we're married." Best mistake she ever made.